As the population ages, more people are suffering from reduced mental capacity and falling victim to undue influence. However, the elderly are not the only victims. It can happen to individuals of all ages, whether from an injury, mental health issue, or substance use disorder. All can result in increased susceptibility to pressure and manipulation. Lawyers know about the requirement of mental capacity to make a gift, will, or contract, and the need to take steps to be satisfied in case there is any doubt. However, you also have to be satisfied that your client is able to exercise that capacity freely. Undue influence does not just arise in wills, but also in contracts, powers of attorney, gifts, loans, guarantees, and real estate transactions. To help you make an assessment, I recommend these steps. First, be aware of the red flags of undue influence. I can't recommend enough to review the recently updated BCLI Undue Influence Recognition and Prevention Guide, which sets out the red flags in detail. Second, listen carefully. Perhaps some of the most challenging questions for a lawyer to ask a client relate to potential undue influence. Getting to the truth requires a lawyer to listen and to act on gut instincts. Third, here are some tips when meeting with your client. Interview your client alone and privately. Ask open-ended questions if there are red flags. Questions should be aimed at determining how a decision was reached, who else may have been involved, and whether that involvement was benign or overbearing. Carefully observe both verbal and nonverbal cues. Explore whether the client is in a relationship of dependency, domination, special confidence, or trust. For example, do you live alone? With family? With a caregiver? Who arranged or suggested this visit? Does anyone help you make decisions? Where there are red flags, consider obtaining relevant information from neutral third parties, the client's doctor, accountant, bank manager, or neighbors. Of course, with the client's consent. In other words, not relatives or beneficiaries. Consider whether you should obtain a mental status assessment if mental capacity is an issue. A person may be at a higher risk of being subject to undue influence because of declining mental capacity. Take special precautions for video conferences with clients and see the tips we have on our website. See the additional interview tips in the updated BCLI Undue Influence Guide. Finally, where red flags exist, your time and attention to the possibility of undue influence is crucial. I can't emphasize enough to make detailed notes of your assessment, the questions you asked your client, and the answers that were given in your meetings, and keep them. Your notes will be invaluable if an issue arises down the road.